We're back again. Hopefully we're back again.
I will see in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
There we go.
are back
Yeah, we're
again.
back again.
We're back again.
I don't like the fact that you have full body armor, but you leave your mouth open. Is this like the opposite of those corona safety face masks that everybody's wearing?
Yeah.
You cover everything except for the mouth and nose. You're just a big mouth breather. Why is there a cat?
There is a cat standing directly in front of the camera, yes.
Ah. Bernie
Oh.
also says you look a little bit hideous. Not
It
sure if
looks
this
like
is...
Yeah.
a big white moustache.
I haven't chosen any colours yet. So I've not played. Okay, Cat, it would be good if you weren't there. It's just as a suggestion.
No, this is fine. It looks good.
I've still got stuff everywhere from hanging up your poster, which it's still obvious what it says too. Our roommate did see it. Not long after we finished, she wanted to grab use my PS4 controller for something. So she came in to borrow it and saw it because I forgot about it, and she saw it again this morning, and it's been a little bit awkward. Like, no one's mentioned it, but we both know that it's there.
Well, just keep this up. This
Yeah.
is generally what you're supposed to do. And also, if everybody ever brings it up during a stream, just don't acknowledge it at all. It's simple. That's how all problems go away. Russia? Nukes? Pff, just ignore it. Jesus, counts left and Christ. Calm down. Also, I don't think that adding colors to this garish action figure
Yeah.
mouth breather character you have is going to fix it.
Yeah. Hang on, can you just put... You can just put straight in the hex code. So, what I'm going to do is go straight to Armin's Illustrator files, and I'll grab the colors straight out of the Illustrator file, rather than...
Says
guess.
put in the hex,
yeah.
which I believe
That's
is
what I'm
accusing
doing.
you of witchcraft. So, you know.
All right, I'm gonna drop out of Discord now.
Okay.
Does
So
that mean...
have a good. No, you can carry on, Mia. That's fine.
I mean, I can stay around for the handover period, but if you want to go on, explore the dual universe in peace, I can be begone too.
No, you can stick around, but it is like 2:30ish for you, isn't it? So it's all right if you want to go.
1:30.
1:30.
Oh, it's fine. I'll just die a little bit on the inside.
But yeah,
So,
I'm gonna go
I'm
get a
fine.
drink.
Okay.
So
Right.
have fun, but I'll be around to chat anyway.
Okay. All right. I'll
See you in a bit.
See you for now. Sorry, I know there's nothing on the stream. I'm trying to work out. Can you change this later, Was? Or are your colors set forever?
Set forever, permanent. You're a scar on your face. On your ugly, ugly face.
Why can't I find where my where did you put it, Armand? Where's Armand when you need him? Maybe I should just guess. You change it later. I'll just change it later. All right.
I can
that looks
look
like
up the hex numbers for your colors if you tell me which colors you're looking for.
blue. Oh, that's awful.
Oh.
Okay. So I was just going to get the blue and the yellow off my logo, but I'm all right. I don't know what to do with this. Let's just make this the same. Nope. Cancel.
No offense, but so far you look like a very large toothbrush for children.
Oh, for the sake of the video, I guess I should say the video afterwards. I've not played this before, and Ubers has very much gotten into it and wants everyone to play it. So I'm just doing as I'm told. This just looks awful. I just don't like the avatar in general. It seems to reset every time you restart, so you have to change it again. I don't think you want to say that. Okay. Alright, well, it resets every time. We'll just go with that. Let's not waste any more time. I'm sorry.
Oh, was made a very controversial statement about my children's toothbrush analogy.
Oh, we missed the intro thing in the changeover. It was basically just the bog standard sci-fi premise. You're in a cryopod. You fly away from Earth. It's like 9,000 years or something, and then you arrive in this new system.
Yeah, bog standard sci-fi. I remember when that happened in Star Wars. Luke was just in a cryopod, fell from Earth 9,000 years later. Bam. Also happened in Star Trek.
Maybe that's how how Earth started, is that it goes from Star Wars and then one of the characters gets in a cryopod and then makes their way to Earth.
Oh. I thought Earth exploded in this game.
It might have. I didn't pay that much attention.
Well, Anubis mentioned it when he tried it out first time around, and I paid vague attention to Anubis so I can point out all of his errors.
So, Waz has very helpfully put the thing that you just put in the Discord before, a PDF beginner's guide to Dual Universe, which I have up at the same time that I'm going to go through as well. Oh, there's a lot of controls here.
Should have printed it out and just sat on stream reading it out loud to everyone.
Alright, I can read all of this if you would like. WASD is movement. Shift is hold to run, double tap to no. I'm not gonna do that. So the plan today, it's not gonna be that interesting. I'm just gonna get through the tutorials. So if you don't want to watch, that's fine. I'm going to try and get up to where Anubis is on the Sanctuary Moon. I've got his location. We're going to try and play through the tutorials and learn how to play the game. And that's it. Because that's probably going to take me about 6 hours. And then it'll be Lyric's turn to play. 11? Nearly 11. She usually starts about 4 PM, so not quite 5 hours.
What's she usually doing on Thursdays? I'm very bad with keeping up with the schedule.
She was playing New Vegas on Thursdays, but she did not enjoy the last 2 sessions, so I think she might be over it.
Oh, what happened? I remember her starting it, but then I lost track again.
She had to keep redoing things because of crashes.
Oh.
Crashes and glitches and things like that. So it's probably it's probably not fair on it. I don't know though, she might play something else.
I had a similar experience when I tried to stream New Vegas on Sal's channel a couple of years ago, and I've spent so much time in getting everything right. I start out of the door, walk 10 steps, it crashes immediately, and I had a very immature reaction about it and just threw the towel in immediately.
I'm Ophelia, the Arkship AI. I will assist you in your first steps, seeing as you just woke up from an extended
this is the really
sleep period.
bored AI.
Keep an eye on the chat window in the lower left part of the screen. It contains a transcript of what I say.
She is a
with
little bit
important information
passive-aggressive.
about which keys to press.
Alright, just welcoming me. So basic controls tutorial. So it's very chuggy.
To start with, let's make sure your motor skills are not affected. Simply head towards the green waypoint behind
I wanted to
the
pause
stairs,
it and
using the movement keys.
Change some settings because the frame rate's not great. Okay, so WAS and D moves. Make sure your motor skills are not affected. Simply head towards the green waypoint beyond the stairs. Okay.
There
there a
is
pause
no
button?
settings.
There isn't?
This is an MMO. It was said there is no settings. This is the entire game as is. So
Okay.
you can't change anything.
Because my GPU is the minimum spec. So it's not I was hoping to be able to turn things down a little bit to make sure. What's going on here? Why can't I walk
Glass?
down the stairs?
I guess there's a glass in the way.
There's deactivate. Do not have permission to use this element. Go behind the steps. Yeah, I was just about to try that. I just thought, oh, that looks like it's through, so... Oh, we're gonna sit down.
Very good. Now, let's try the jump action.
Have you noticed that while walking, you kind of gallop like
you
a
are
horse?
in perfect shape. Great. Let's try your headlight, which is very useful in dark areas. Press the headlight key twice to turn it on and off.
Right, so it's on. How do we tell that it's on?
Now, take your time to look at the world around you through the glass panes. This gigantic planet is all yours to conquer, as well as the many other planets in the system. You are free to shape the world as you see fit. Build an empire, explore the vastness of space, create a trade federation or a pirate alliance, or live secluded on a forgotten moon. There are no rules here, except for the one you make for yourself. When you are ready,
there are no rules.
Follow the waypoint and look through the marked window.
Follow the waypoint and look through the marked window. And shift was run, yeah.
So, when it was said that there are no settings, does that mean we can't even turn subtitles on?
Yeah. Well, in this, at least, there's a transcript down there, but... Yeah, good if it was. Is it a bit too small to read on stream? I don't know if the stream's up, because I've got a 2K monitor going out at 1080, so that combined with the compression means that writing might be a bit small, so if you can't read it, let me know.
I mean, I can read it if I strain my eyes.
Oh. I don't know what to do about that.
It's fine, I'll live.
Was can see, but you need a 50-inch monitor.
Brag, why don't you?
Alright, I'm gonna turn up the bitrate a little bit, so if people stop being able to download, also let me know. Alright, press restart core tutorial. Was I supposed to do that, or was I supposed to just look out the window?
The buildings in front of you are one of the many district areas of Alioth. Districts contain all the facilities that you will need to begin your journey. In particular, they host institutes where various tutorials are located. We will get back to that later.
Okay.
Now, it's time to go and start preparing for your journey. Head downstairs and follow the waypoint.
Do I want to do that, or do I want to do this? Oh, this is the core tutorial. Never mind. Okay, head downstairs. So that means there is no...
Continue down and get close to the screen, marked with a green waypoint.
Ah, the force field has disappeared.
Close to the screen.
Let's begin by looking at your tools. Tools are located at the bottom of the screen in the form of quick access slots. You can select them with the quick access keys. As you can see, the last slot is currently empty. We will now learn how to equip a new tool in that place.
Just learning to put stuff on the toolbar.
Approach the highlighted tool dispenser unit next to you.
Approach the highlighted tool unit. Okay.
Dispensers are elements, which are objects you can deploy in the world. For example, chairs, windows, plants or doors are all elements. Some elements, like this dispenser, can be activated by pressing the activate key while pointing at them. Activate the dispenser now.
Okay, so...
Very good. The dispenser just gave you a new tool that is now stored inside your inventory. The inventory contains everything you can carry around with you. Let's open it by pressing the inventory key. The inventory is a central interface for managing everything you carry around with you. It contains items like tools, materials, elements, or blueprints. We will look into it in more detail through the various specialized tutorials. For now, locate the repair tool that was just given to you, and simply drag and drop it into the free slot below.
Okay, so I'm just learning how to put stuff on the toolbar. May I? Because
Well
I assume
done.
you're not listening.
Note that the inventory does not have an infinite capacity, it is restricted in volume. Thanks to the nanopack technology,
Can't carry
this volume is
everything.
pretty huge, but still, better keep an eye on the size of objects you store. Now, simply close the inventory by pressing the close cross on the top right. Okay. We are now ready to continue downstairs. This time, we will need to use an elevator. Move to the designated waypoint. Elevators are connected together via up and down links. Stepping onto an elevator and pressing the crouch key or the jump key will allow you to transfer to the next, or previous elevator in the chain. Simply step on the elevator and press the crouch key to go down.
Oh, that's
Welcome to the
weird.
main room. You can get back anytime by stepping on the same elevator and pressing the jump key to go up. In front of you is a miniature reproduction of the Ark ship. You can perhaps see the real Ark ship through the windows in the distance. Let's try to also find it on the map. To open the map, press the map key.
That key is F4 apparently.
This is Alioth, the planet on which you currently stand. You can rotate the planet by clicking and dragging it with the mouse. You can also zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. Zoom until you can clearly see the hexagonal tiling on the planet's surface.
I have.
Each of these tiles is a
Yeah.
territory you can claim. Tiles in red are already claimed. Tiles in purple are non-claimable, and mostly exist around the Ark ship. The Ark ship is represented by a small icon in the center of the purple tiles area. At any time, you can center onto your position on the map by pressing the center icon on the top left. Try it now. You can also mark any place on the surface of the planet to create a waypoint. Waypoints are displayed in your HUD so that they are easy to track. To set a waypoint, simply right-click on a point on the map and select Set as Destination.
And clicked set as destination. Was that? I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention. Right click, sorry.
Very good. There are still many areas on the map that you will learn to use over time. For example, the selector area here allows you to list your constructs, review bookmarks, and see any available warp beacons or other points of interest. In the lower right corner, you can find the list of current objectives in a tutorial, usually with hints on how to achieve them. For now, let's just close the map. Press the upper right close button.
Okay, so just all
You may have seen
basic
on the
stuff
map
so
that
far.
certain territory tiles are claimed. To claim a tile, you must deploy a territory unit on the ground. Let's have a look at one. Follow the waypoint.
Okay, I'm just going to look out the window just briefly. You can watch people running around, because Lyric did a really nice thing of putting a bunch of stuff in the washing machine and then leaving and going shopping, and it's now beeping. So I'll go stop it from beeping.
Well, I guess it's my time to shine as the entertainment on screen. I can comment on the fact that Fligo is a guy who walks really quickly along there. It's probably illegal to run that fast. I have run out of commentary. I could also point at Choker. I'm basically just describing what you can already see on stream, which would mean I am qualified to be a stream interpreter for the blind. Surely they get a lot of enjoyment out of watching streams, if they could watch anything for that matter. Oh. Fine, I'll be quiet.
There we go.
I have tried entertaining the viewers, but it didn't quite work.
Oh, yeah. Was as difficult to entertain. I don't know if he's ever been entertained. Alright, so you may have seen on the map that certain territory tiles are claimed. To claim a tile, you must deploy a territory unit on the ground. Let's have a look at one. Follow the waypoint. You don't have to stick around for this, Mir, if this is boring. But if you want to learn how to play the game... Because...
I'd be happy to stick around. The only problem is that without hearing the game, I can't tell when the woman is talking. So I don't want to interrupt that.
I was trying to paraphrase it, but... sorry, cable. I've got to get wireless headphones.
As you can see, it's quite huge.
But it was hard to talk
Once
over
a
her.
territory unit is deployed onto a tile,
This is a
this
territory
tile
unit.
belongs to
It's
you.
huge.
It means you can start to build constructs on it, you can decide who holds rights to dig the ground, and whom else can also build next to you. Territory units are quite expensive and will probably not be the first thing you deploy on Alioth. Instead, we have a much better way to let you grab a piece of land. Let's discover this now. Follow the waypoint behind you, to the elevator on the end of the room, and move up. This will take us to the observatory.
So, apparently, these things are expensive. And not going to be the first thing that we deploy here. Instead, we have a much better way to grab a piece of land. So, hang on, where are we going? Where's the...
I thought we were going to besiege Anubis's land and then just claim all of everything he's built. Kara the cat points out that they would prefer my voice over that tutorial lady anytime. Well, if they would contact me, I'd be happy to do all of their tutorials for free. I even
think,
do it in a funny voice.
I think this is just an AI. I don't think anyone's actually voiced this. I think this might just be an AI that they've put this text into. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like the most economical thing, especially given the amount of stuff she talks about. She just waffles on and on and on.
Right, so we've gone up. Are we supposed to keep going up? We can't. Take us to the observatory. Hang on. That's where we've got to go over there. Didn't you want it? Oh, we've got to go over to there and then go up, not just up at the nearest elevator. That one.
What wants to know? Don't I usually just waffle on and on? Yeah, but it's different if I
Welcome
do
to the
it.
Observatory. From here, you should be able to see Alioth's moons in the sky.
Also,
One of them
in
is a
response to
very
the question
special
on when I
called the
am
Sanctuary
joining
Moon.
people in Dual
We will
Universe,
explain what
I
that
wasn't
means, but
planning
first,
to.
Let's try to
It
locate
doesn't
it.
look like a game I'd enjoy. I'm
Let's open
scarred
the
by
map
space
again by
engineers,
pressing
and
the
I'm
map
not
key.
ready to die again.
Well, I agree with that. I'm more interested in the civilization stuff with this. So at the moment, Anubis is the leader of Nid Industries, but the way that it works is, it's not like he's the admin who has absolute power over everything. You also appoint what are they called? Are they like
Legate.
legate? Yeah. Yeah, you appoint them, and then they can vote out the leader, so the super legate. So I'm looking forward to creating some political drama and trying to get Anubis thrown out. That's that's my plan. Hang on, so the We're looking for one of Alios' special moons called Sanctuary. But we've got to locate it by pressing F4.
The map also contains a solar system view. Click on the System tab to open it. Here you can see all the planets currently accessible in the system. Select Alioth, the planet where you currently are located, by clicking on it. As you can see, Alioth has 3 moons. One of them looks a bit like a twin of Alioth and is marked with a small shield icon. This is the Sanctuary Twin Moon, or the Twin for short. Select it by clicking on it. Excellent. Now, let's click the Set Destination button to get a visible waypoint in the 3D world, pointing to the twin. We will need that soon. Good. Now, before we leave, let's have a look at the surface of this moon and find out why it's called a sanctuary. Click on the View Planet button.
Okay, so we've set a destination and now it wants us to find out
This
why
twin
it's
moon,
called a sanctuary
just like
moon.
Alioth or any other planet, is also covered with tiles that you can claim. A sanctuary moon is a moon where no combat will ever occur, as it is a safe zone. This means that every territory you claim will remain yours forever, and nobody can take your belongings or build anything there without your consent. This is a great way to create a safe haven to store your valuables and build your home. Getting to a sanctuary moon and claim a tile should be your first goal in Dual Universe. You can claim only 1 tile on a sanctuary moon, and you will need a special sanctuary territory unit for that purpose. Let's go and get one. It's free for all new Novians.
Okay,
Close the map window.
don't want to close it yet. I want to find Anubis. So, this is a safe haven moon. No one can touch us. We get 1 free tile, and we can't place any other tiles after that. So where? I'm trying to work out. So the longitude and latitude. So it's basically 6161 is where Anubis is.
Did you do that on purpose? Because it didn't look like that on stream.
No, he didn't. He did not. I'm just going to double check. I'm going to tab out and so I can tab out alright, but it does flash on the whole thing. Oh, and it goes like very slightly. That's weird. When you tab out, it goes very slightly smaller, and down the bottom, there's like this black bar. So
Oh, yeah, that looks silly.
was 6161. Yeah. But then when I'm back in, it's fine. And I can't change any any settings to change that. So 6161, so this way. Is he up near the pole? I assume there is a way to just put... Can I just put something in here? No. I'm gonna have to find it manually? Looks like this. Yes, that's it. So, I'll just go back to the image. That one's Anubis's, so I want to get here. Is set as destination? Or should I have not done that because the planet was the destination?
It'll be
Notice how the
alright.
sanctuary twin moon is now identified by the waypoint in the sky. There is a shuttle service, which we will introduce at the end of this tutorial, that can bring you there. Now, let's get your sanctuary territory unit. Simply follow the waypoint to the nearby dispenser and activate it.
Okay, gonna get myself a free territory unit. Get a batch.
Fantastic. Now that you are equipped with your territory unit, let's get back to the rest of the tutorial. Head down via the nearby elevators. Now is the time to present the key pillar activities that are available for Novians. Each of these will be presented here quickly, and you will later be able to discover more about them via the institutes and their dedicated tutorials. Let's head to the mining station first. Follow
Okay.
the waypoint towards the downstairs platform.
Wants me to go to the mining thing. So I gotta go back to here. There. View. Do I have to find it again, or is it still marked? Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry.
Isn't it the lake right in the center of your view?
Yeah. I'll bookmark Anubis's. Um. oh. Okay, got a bookmark.
Very aptly named.
Set destination. Alright, now it wants me to go to the mining place. Changes your waypoint to show where to go. Oh, the thing changes your waypoint to show you where to go. Okay. So the AI is interrupting. So head to the mining station first. So where is this waypoint? I don't see it. I assume we'll go down here. There. I don't know what is an SU? Is that like a
Solar units. So probably light
yeah.
years.
Yeah, no, I was I don't think it would be. Is that like the distance between space unit? Okay, so I assume it would be like AU, the distance between the sun and the Earth, kind of thing. I thought that was what confused me is I thought that was the waypoint to the mining thing, which I thought was going to be in here, and it seemed like a long way away. All right, follow the waypoint towards the downstairs platform. I don't see a waypoint.
I think the problem is that you set your waypoint
Mining is one of
as
the
Anubis'
primary
station
Oh.
again after
This is how you
after the
acquire
AI
raw
has already done
materials.
it for
You
you.
don't simply buy them on the markets. Those materials are located either on the planet's surface, or they can be buried kilometers deep underground.
Oh.
Surface materials have a low value,
Found it.
while more valuable materials, from level 1 to level 5, are found deeper. As is often the case, to access the surface mining activity, you will need a tool. Here is the Harvest tool, which is highlighted in the toolbar below. Pointing at harvestable elements on the surface and clicking on them, while the Harvest tool is equipped, will allow you to collect them. Press the Quick Access key for this tool to equip it, usually the first in the toolbar, but it can be any number corresponding to the equipped slot number.
Okay.
So is that a development texture?
I hope so. And so, is it Kiro or Karo cat? Do you know Mia?
I'm assuming it's Kerocat, but don't
Okay.
ask me. I am purposefully mispronouncing names in chat just to set myself up as the antagonist for everybody.
Yeah, it feels bad for red and green colorblind players. I did see something in some setting, I don't know if you remember was, about there being a colorblind setting. But given there aren't any settings in the game that I know of yet, is there something that I'm supposed to do? If you don't simply buy them on
Mine
the
the
market.
stuff?
Those materials are located either on the planet's surface or they can be buried kilometers deep underground. There is a colorblind setting, but it's not in yet. Okay. Surface materials have a low value. More valuable materials from level 1 to level 5 are found deeper. As is often the case, to access the surface mining activity, you'll need a tool. So this is the Harvest tool. I assume it's the Harvest tool. Whoops. Yeah, it is. Pointing at harvestable elements on the surface and clicking on them while the Harvest tool is equipped will allow you to collect them. Okay. So there are settings, but they don't do much right now, according to Woz. Press the quick access key of this tool to equip it. Oh, I haven't done the rest of the...
Great.
I did it too early for the
Unfortunately,
tutorial.
there are no surface harvestable elements here, so you will need to go through the dedicated tutorial in the Mining Institute to practice. Now,
Okay.
unequip this tool by pressing again the quick access key, corresponding to begin mining deep underground. You will need a way to scan for available materials in a large radius. This is the job of the scanner tool, highlighted here.
Okay,
Once in
so
close range, the directional detector will help you pinpoint the location of the material. Finally, to collect the
that's too
found
much.
material, or simply to dig your way down, you will use the mining tool, highlighted just below. You'll learn more about this in the interactive mining tutorial, located inside the Mining Institute. Now,
Okay,
let's
find
talk
out more
about the
about that later.
markets. Get close to the waypoint.
Waypoint? What waypoint? We're going to learn about markets now. But I can't see... Is that it? That's it.
Markets are an essential part of Novian life. This is where you can sell the materials you mine, but also buy anything that you might need. Markets are physically located in the world. They are accessible either via market pod units, like the one in front of you, or via the integrated nanomarket interface. The nanomarket interface allows you to browse markets at a distance, but cannot help you to deposit or recover items that are traded. For that, you will need to directly interact with the market pod. Very quickly, let's have a look at what the nanomarket interface looks like. To open it, press the nanomarket key.
To learn how
You
to
can
do
search
markets.
for a particular item that you would like to trade by using these search boxes. Nitron is a fuel you will often use and frequently buy. Type nitron in the search box to get access to the nitron markets.
So we just search for what we
You
want.
can see the market orders for nitron. These are all the intentions to buy or sell nitron by other Novians
Like a
on
simple
various
stock
markets
exchange?
in the solar system. You can pick the cheapest or the nearest offer, depending on your priorities. You can also create your own buy or sell orders, or let the system pick the best offer for you. We will look into this at the end of this tutorial, when we will buy nitron for your speeder vehicle. For now, let's close the nanomarket interface and continue our visit.
This stuff I'm looking forward to. With a lot of games that have economies, if I've played them for extended periods of time, I usually like finding ways to exploit them. So just sitting by my lake with my feet up, doing being like a finance bro. That's my goal.
Okay. Let's now have a look at another important activity, industry. Go to the industry station, just a few meters on the left.
This looks complicated.
In front of you is an assembly line, one of the many industry unit elements available, which includes things like chemical reactors, glass furnaces, refineries, or smelters. Each industry unit type is specialized through certain types of recipes. The assembly line can take ingredients in an entry container, like the one here on the left, and then run a recipe to craft elements. The elements are stored in the exit container, as seen here on the right, that can be chained as an entry container for another industry unit. To select the recipe, there is an industry unit interface that you will learn about in the dedicated industry tutorial, inside the Industry Institute. Thankfully, entry-level recipes for simple products can be run without an industry unit. For that, you can use your integrated nanocrafter. Before we open the nanocrafter, let's get some ingredients we will need from the nearby dispenser. Approach the dispenser and press the activate key.
Right. So there's an entry container, goes up into the block that does something, and then deposits it out into an exit container, which can then also be an entry container for something else. Now it wants me to go in. I don't get the nano. What was it? The nano crafter. So is that like a thing you can carry around and do basic crafts with? Thankfully, entry-level recipes for simple products can be run without an industry unit. For that, you can use the integrated nanocrafter. Right. So nanocrafting is your backpack that does that. Okay. I was still thinking about the previous one. I missed that paragraph. Approach the dispenser and press the
Excellent.
key.
Now, let's open the nanocrafter by pressing the nanocrafter key. We are going to craft some fuel.
We're gonna make fuel. Okay.
Great. This interface allows you to pick a recipe and run it in the background to produce simple products. On the left is a selection area to pick a recipe. You currently have just a few ingredients, which allow a limited set of recipes to be used. Press the Show Only Doable checkbox to display these recipes.
Okay, so there are some
Excellent.
filters.
Now, let's click on nitron fuel to select the corresponding recipe.
So nitron
The
fuel.
panel that appeared shows you the necessary ingredients, which you just retrieved from the dispenser. It also offers the possibility to add this crafting job to the queue. Simply click on Add to Queue to start producing a batch of 100 liters of nitron fuel.
Okay.
Fantastic. As you can see, your job is now in the queue and you will have a batch of nitron ready in a few seconds.
That's underneath
That
me.
will
It
be all
tells you
for
how
this
long.
short introduction. There is of course more to know, and you can go to the Industry Institute to go through the specialized tutorials. For now, let's close this window. In general, crafting jobs will continue in the background, and you will get notifications when jobs are completed.
Okay, so we don't have to wait for things to finish crafting, which is good because I've heard some things take
Okay,
hours.
Now let's learn about building, and how you can use all these materials and elements to create amazing constructs. Just turn to the station on your right.
I mean, the shapes look good, but the colors don't.
This bizarre construction in front of you is called a construct. It is a mix of deployed voxel materials used to sculpt a shape, and deployed elements to make it functional. The first element you deploy to create a construct is a core unit, as highlighted here. It will create a building zone, within which you will be allowed to build. Core units come in different sizes, and also specializations. Static core units are for ground buildings, dynamic core units are for ships or anything that moves, and space core unit are for space stations. Once you have created your building zone, you can start to deploy matter, as voxel honeycomb materials, or voxels for short. You have a large palette of tools and materials to help you sculpt absolutely anything you like, regardless of shape or complexity. Finally, you can add elements to your construct, in the form of engines, doors, lights, fuel tanks, or any of the hundreds of available elements that provide functionality to your builds. Building is a vast subject. It is advised to go through the various building tutorials located inside the Building Institute. Note that the building you are currently in, as well as all the other buildings outside, are entirely made with the same building tools. Also, some of the cool constructs you can build not only include static buildings, but also space or atmospheric ships. Let's have a look at this now. Follow the waypoint to the next station.
So, yeah, well, it says that crafts and levels will go even when offline, and you can queue hours of stuff and then go to work, come home, and it's done. I remember seeing something, was it Kay, that was queuing stuff and then like going to mow his lawn and come back and queue a bit more and continue. I'm just giving you another opportunity, Mia, to go to sleep if you want to. Not that I'm pushing you to, just want to make sure you're not waiting. You might have already.
Oh, no, I'm still here, just waiting in the background.
there could be a lot of waiting, because I think this is just going to be all sitting and listening. Going to attempt to learn.
I know,
This
I
is
know.
a
I heard
surface
about some
speeder,
people
a very
complaining about the
basic ground
tutorial in Fallout
atmospheric
3, but
vehicle
heavens,
that
this is
both
worse.
convenient and cheap to build, and allows you to move around planet surfaces. You will be gifted one at the end of this tutorial.
So get one of these spaceships.
Everything in this speeder
Oh,
is
speeder.
functional and plays a role in making it work. Let's quickly review the different elements that it's composed of. Here are the hover engines, which help the speeder float above the ground. These extra small atmospheric engines are used for propulsion and moving forward. They require fuel, taken from this atmospheric fuel tank. Adjusters are small elements used to create rotational forces and help balance your ship. You also need brakes to be able to slow down. And finally, you need a piloting seat to be able to fly it. Activating this piloting seat activates the ship, which is how you take control of it. All these elements are orchestrated via a Lua script that is generated automatically for you. But you can also modify it via a right-click menu on the piloting seat to create absolutely any kind of control you like. Note that piloting in the atmosphere of a planet or in outer space can be very different, and involves different types of engines and design. Gravity may ground you if you have a heavy cargo on a high-gravity planet, while it won't matter in the darkness of space. In Dual Universe, piloting is an art, a subtle interplay between your piloting skills and the craftsmanship of the ship designer. You can learn more about piloting in the dedicated tutorials in the Piloting Institute. Piloting is not only about navigating your ship, but will often also involve combat. Look up at the fighter above your head. I've highlighted the weapons that are equipped on this small ship. There are many more types of weapons, ammunition, and damage types. Each has a specific role. This is a small fighter, but you can also build giant battleships with a crew of hundreds of people, each assigned to a particular task. There is much more to discover about combat, so you should definitely visit the Military Institute to know more. Now,
Okay.
let's go to the last station and learn about organizations. Follow the waypoint.
This is the bit that I want to know more about. I want to join the organization. I think me personally, I'm not as interested in... I'm a bit interested in creating factories. I'm not so interested in building... what do they call them? Dynamic constructs? Ships? I like building like bases, like base building. I know that Nubers was talking about basically turning his real life job into a virtual job on this, coming up with scripts for useful in-game things that we need as an organization, and then selling them on the market to other people. And the same with, you know, people can design ships and sell the whole ship on a market. That kind of thing. I'm more interested in the organization and the roleplay stuff around it than actually building ships. I don't think I'd be
Organizations
terribly
are a
great at it.
fundamental part of your social life as a Novian. They are groups that you can join, covering things like nations, corporations, alliances, or even group of pirates. Let's have a quick look at the organization interface. Open it by pressing the organization key. As you can expect, you are not part of any organization yet. Let's click the search button to find out what are the currently existing organizations. You can search through this list, focusing on open organizations, which are recruiting, or sorting by member numbers, name, or language. To apply for an organization, you need to open its details page. Click on the name of any of the listed organizations to open its details page.
And Anubis is pointing out that you can nest organizations, so I assume like we were talking about if we get more than like 8 players, I think there are at the moment, then you can have different organizations focusing on different things, all under the banner of one sort of umbrella organization. So look for Ned. There we go. That logo needs fixing. What was I supposed to do? Click on the name.
In this window,
Yeah,
you
look
can
at
see
that.
a summary of relevant information regarding this organization. This area will allow you to apply to join this organization, along with a place to write a quick introduction to go along with it. Joining an organization can be a considerable boost for your new life as a Novian. Choose wisely. You can now close the detail
No,
window.
I'm gonna do it. I'm a good pooper.
You can, of course, also decide to create your organization from scratch, even if this is a little bit more advanced. For example, managing an organization involves legates and members, rules, voting, and management of rights. This is something you will discover later. You can now close the organization interface. Excellent. You have covered the basics. Now, let's move to the next step and talk about talents. Follow the waypoint.
Anubis said that he was he's doing a tabletop roleplay thing for, you know, his actual real life friends right now, but that if he is still awake afterwards, he'll pop in and like allow me to do stuff with his things and all that. Now let's move to the next step and talk about talents.
To start with, let's open the talent window by pressing the talent key. Talents define your character abilities. They are grouped into categories that are displayed all around your avatar in this window. Here, for example, is the mining and inventory group. Click on it. Excellent. Now, look on the left at the list of categories that correspond to this group. Each category hosts several talents. Click on the Inventory Manager category. Finally, select the Nanopack Upgrades talent that just appeared under Inventory Manager. Very good. Talents can be upgraded from level 1 up to level 5 by spending talent points in increasing quantities. Each level acquired provides a boost to a certain characteristic, described just below its name. For example, here the Nanopack Upgrades helps to increase the size of the inventory by 200 liters for each talent level acquired. The amount of talent points you currently have is displayed in the upper part of the screen. Talent points automatically accumulate, even when you are offline, at a slow rate, shown here. To consume points to instantly train a particular talent, you could simply use the Invest Points button I just highlighted, assuming you have enough points for the talent you are aiming for. Most of the time, you have very little accumulated points, because the rate of accumulation is slow. Instead, you can decide to queue a talent, and enter an active learning phase, which considerably boosts the talent point acquisition rate. Let's train the first level of the Nanopack Upgrades talent. Press the Queue Talent button.
Okay. I wasn't always have a talent queued. I wasn't fully paying attention then. This sort of stuff, I've said it before, is my weakness in games. I just zone out as soon as I see like talent trees and that kind of thing. So it's accumulating 6 talent points per minute. I've got 291 now. So we go through and you select what you want to be better at. Nanopack Upgrade adds 200 liters to my Nanopack. I need 600. It's going up slowly, but if I queue it, then I'm actively training for it and it goes up faster. Okay.
As you can see, the selected talent now displays in the queue. You can queue several talents to train one after the other. Note that dependencies between talents might exist, and you should train talents in the right order. See how the acquisition rate is much faster during active learning. When a talent is in a queue, acquired points are immediately assigned to the talent which is currently being trained. It is a good practice to always have several talents scheduled in the queue, to be able to train them without interruption. Note that talents also train when you are offline. So, make sure to always have a filled queue that spans a long duration. If the queue ends when you are not online, you will fall back to the slow talent point accumulation rate. Take your time to review the existing talents, and think about how you want to plan them out. There is no rule of thumb here. You can become hyper-specialized, or decide to be a jack of all trades. When you're ready, you can close the talent window.
Lurking is more than fine. I can't imagine that this is the most interesting thing to watch, but Anubis really wants me to play this game, so I'm going to get through these tutorials so that I'm ready to join in with the stuff that he's doing. So what do I want to be? Industry, element, health points. I don't really know what that means. Crafting, ammo, weapons, radar, piloting. I could learn to be a good pilot. Hover engine. So is this like a rare element? Basic element? I don't really know what basic element health point means. What's a health point? Is that like a medic? That role? Okay. I'm just gonna queue a bunch of these. I don't know what I want to be yet. There we go, that'll do.
At this point, you might be confused by the vast number of interfaces and their various shortcuts. Thankfully, you don't have to remember all that. Let's enter into free mouse mode by pressing the free mouse key. The menu on the left gathers all the quick accesses to the available interfaces. And since your mouse is now free, you can simply click on them. Note that you can also select the tools in your toolbar, and generally interact with many more menus and options in this mode. One example is the notification icon in the lower right part of the screen, which you can now access. Now is also a good time to learn about the Codex, which is a global written tutorial about everything you need to know. It can be spawned with the Codex key, but you also have access to the windowed Codex, that creates a window you can resize and move. Click on the windowed Codex button. You can browse the many topics in the selection menu here. Normally when you leave the free mouse mode, temporary windows are closed, but not the windowed Codex. So it can be helpful to pin some help content on the side, while you are performing the actions described in it. For now, we are going to close this window, as we will need the screen space for the remainder of this tutorial. Simply click again on the windowed Codex menu.
Right, so if I were to tab out of this, this would stay, so I could have like a small browser window up.
As we are talking about help, let me mention hints. Hints will appear regularly on the right of the screen, depending on your actions, to give you some help. I've triggered a hint for you right now. You can review them later from the hint window, or simply by pressing the hint key, so you will never miss one. Okay. You can now close the free mouse mode and return to the 3D view. Just press the free mouse key again. Now, it's time to discover a really fun activity that is available to you right from the start. Let's go through the large exits, down the stairs, to the waypoint.
Down the stairs, over there. Really fun activity, apparently. Surrogate VR stations.
Welcome to
and
the Surrogate VR
pop-ups.
stations. These stations can be used to enter a VR session to control a remote robot in telepresence. This is a fantastic way to discover locations and familiarize yourself with the possibilities offered to you, perhaps even visit a large organization headquarters, or simply play tourist in extraordinary places. You first enter into a VR stations like this one by activating it. You can then select the destination site, among those that are public and are made accessible to you. You take control of a robot that awaits in a distant pod. Anyone can deploy a pod in their construct and make it public, so that visitors can arrive. As a robot, your capacities are limited, however, so this is just a way to visit an area remotely, as opposed to teleporting there directly. These are fake stations, you cannot use them. But I will show you the real one on the way out, a bit later. One last thing, you may have noticed those buttons with a question mark on them. They are info buttons. They are placed in front of points of interest and you can press on them to display an informational message. Try it now, and activate this button. Great. Info buttons close themselves automatically, but you can also force them out with the cancel key. Another powerful way to discover things by yourself in Dual Universe is to use the helper system. Simply point at anything in the world, or in the user interface, and press the helper key. Try it now on something in the world around you.
When a pod station is deployed on your construct, people will be able to spawn surrogate here. Right. So I'm just gonna get help with something. Oh. Oh, if you double click it, it goes. Get help with this.
Good, let's continue. The next important thing to learn about is the notion of rights. Everything you own can be shared with others, but it is by default only accessible to you. For example, try to deactivate the highlighted force field on the left. You can do it by pointing at it and pressing the interaction key, and see what happens. You received an action forbidden message, telling you that the owner of this element did not share it with you. This is actually how you can make your construct secure against intruders. Now, in the same way, try to activate the left button, that controls the light above. Again, the right to activate has not been given. As you can see, this time it worked. You can control the light by pressing this button. To set up an element's rights in a simple way, you can use the right-click menu on an element. Here, you can access the Share Element or Share Construct options in the Construct submenu, which will allow you to grant rights to others. You can now close this menu by pressing. A much more complex system is available for advanced management that allows for fine-tuned rights control, in particular for organizations. You can share whole constructs, manage specific types of rights, and create groups of people with certain abilities. But this is way beyond the scope of this introduction. You should try the rights management tutorial instead.
There's so many
now,
tutorials.
Simply deactivate the force field on your right by pointing at it and pressing the interaction key. Don't worry, I have given you the proper rights.
Anubis said make sure you do the tutorials because he didn't, and it took him a long time to work everything out. But the idea of doing all these tutorials is slowly becoming less and less fun.
Very good.
Get through.
Now, let's continue our visit and go down to the lower level, using the elevator at the end of the room.
I'm close to the end of this one, but there's so many other tutorials that he said just do all the tutorials, but maybe
On both sides of this corridor, you will find
I
resurrection
think he
notes.
just wants you to do
Drawing
all
on
the tutorials,
consequences
so
of the
he
Everett
doesn't have
interpretation
to.
of quantum mechanics, we were able to design a technology which preserves your state of consciousness across multiple realities. We control the multiverse, in order to branch you onto a version of reality where you happen to respawn, here on one of these platforms, whenever you die. So, you cannot really die, there is always a version of the universe in the multiverse where you wake up, here. Beware that when you die, your inventory will not be preserved, so don't take death too lightly. It's important to know that you can craft or buy your own resurrection nodes. You can then install them in your ship or in your home. When respawning, you will always appear at the nearest active resurrection node, so in general you don't have to always get back to this room. Alright, so we are now almost ready to exit the starting hub. The last step is about collecting components to allow you to build a speeder ground vehicle. Follow the waypoint in the direction of the exit.
That was quite a big concept to introduce so quickly. So there's a multiverse. Basically, it was a law way of saying that you cannot die, because if you die, there is another version of you in another multiverse that wakes up here. So, like in this universe, so you can't die, but you do lose your inventory. So
That sounds like a complicated version of kidnapping yourself.
well, it's essentially the same as Space Engineers. Then you just respawn at the nearest medbay, but they have a story to, make sure that it fits in with what they're trying to create. So there are only 5 more tutorials. Those are a lot faster. They take about half an hour together. The worst one's mining, and it's the main one you really need. Right. Okay. Well, that's all right. I was expecting them to take, what have we been doing this for, an hour now? I thought each one was going to go for like that long. So almost ready to exit the starting hub. The last step is about collecting components to allow you to build a speeder ground vehicle. Follow the waypoint to the direction of the exit. Okay. It does not perform well, this game. There's a lot of chug.
Maybe it gets better if you're out in the Bandooks with
On
Anubis.
both sides of this room are demonstration versions of 2 of the most popular UEF hovercraft speeders. These ground vehicles are extremely efficient to quickly navigate the surface of a planet, and you will need one during the first steps of your journey. Distances are real, and transportation is a necessity. One way to acquire these speeders is to get a blueprint and to run it. Each of the highlighted dispenser will grant you the blueprint of the speeder next to them. Go get one of them by activating the dispenser. You can pick the one you prefer, or take them both.
Yeah, so once we leave this area, the performance will get better. But isn't the point, like with the Sanctuary Moon, I guess not everyone that claims a spot is going to completely fill it up, but I assume that the moon is, over the next couple of years, going to get very busy. So the whole place is going to be like this. So, I can see on the map though how many things there are. I might as well take both blueprints, right? I think Anubis got that one, so I'll just get this other one.
To run a blueprint, you can simply double-click on it while it's in your inventory, to deploy it into the world. You will be guided by the ghost bounding box that will appear. We will do that later. Another requirement to be able to deploy a blueprint is that you possess all its necessary components, materials and elements. The dispenser in front of you contains everything needed to be able to deploy one speeder. Go to the dispenser and activate it. Oh, I also squeezed in a resurrection node that will prove very useful soon.
So get all the pieces and a resurrection node.
Now, don't deploy your blueprint right away. You may need to do that later on a sanctuary moon. But keep it in your inventory, it will soon come handy. Blueprints can also be created by you, when you've built a construct and want to save a copy of it for yourself. You can of course also use it to mass produce your creations and to sell them. Blueprints are like intellectual property and can become very precious indeed. That being said, this concludes the starting hub portion. Look around you. This room is also a sort of small museum showing many elements and materials that you may want to learn about. Simply press on the info buttons, or use the helper key to know more about each element on display. When you are finished, you can exit through the front door, which is now open.
Okay. The moon is
This
a
would
city
be-
moon. Sorry. You go.
This would be so much less painful if her voice wasn't so annoying and condescending.
Yeah. The moon is
And
a
as
city
was
moon.
about to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Terrible at that. The moon is a city moon, but that's going to take years, and hope they fix that within that time frame. And you have to come to this area to buy and sell stuff anyway. So
So I like that the idea that blueprints are intellectual property that can become very precious. So you can come up with a design for like a fighter or a mining vessel that allows you to compete more efficiently with other organizations.
Oh, Jesus, imagine if they had that in Space Engineers and you patented the piston. You'd be rich, bloody rich, the filthy rich.
Until they released the actual in-game piston. But I guess that's for a smaller use.
Yeah, I guess.
I think I would have then had to file some sort of... Like, I would have to sue them for... for copyright violation. Yeah,
They're
people
basically
sort of-
cheating the market by releasing a new block. They can't do that.
Guess I should have done about speed elements. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that has Anubis excited, is coming up with good blueprints for things and then mass producing them. And not... Because you can sell actual constructs, can't you, So not just the blueprint for the ship, but the actual ship itself. So you keep the blueprint a secret and then mass produce a particular ship and then try and sell them on the market. Sorry, I've got to check.
I wonder.
Sorry?
I would like to become a middle salesman in that case. Just open a speeder dealership, buy them in bulk, and then sell them at a markup to the public.
That's exactly what Anubis wants Apple to do. So you could go as a like door-to-door pair and come up with some techniques, like selling techniques.
You mean like breaking their legs, and then if they don't buy one, they will break the arms too?
Sorry, but I'm technically working. Well, I'm not actually. I'm not supposed to be working for this particular company that's messaging me, but...
Well, in the meantime, Bernie has woken up again, unfortunately, or he couldn't sleep at all, we don't know. And he's realized that the joke-stealing traitor is still here. I'm not sure if that's me, you, or was.
Or all the above?
Maybe it's himself. Oh no, it's me. I'm the one who stole the leprosy joke. I get it now.
Oh, yeah. So headlights, cast a spotlight. Component used for piloting. There's stuff in the way. The controls are in the way. Okay. So Control and H hides that panel. Skip objective, rewind objective. Okay. Oops. Hide that panel. Component used for piloting. Hover engines allow ground-based vehicles to hover at an adjustable distance above the ground or water. They consume atmospheric fuel. I'm unlocking talents. This is dynamic. They create thrust that opposes, so that's just a brake. Provides thrust to dynamic constructs. Consume atmospheric fuel. What fuel? The brakes can use fuel? So they're the little adjusters that move it around. Fuel tank, and then these things, wings. These elements provide atmospheric lift proportional to the current velocity. Okay. Just arguments about stealing jokes, I see.
Yeah, don't listen to Bernie. I am objectively right. A rhyming joke is better than a pun.
Can you do a rhyming pun? I guess that's also a joke.
It's also a joke, but I don't do puns. They're just they're wrong. They're like hideous, terrible
Welcome
things.
to the outside world. In front of you is a
Talking
large
again.
parking area where many ships come and go, mostly to get to the nearby market. Let's actually go on the other side, where we will find the market and the institutes. Follow the waypoint ahead of you.
Oh, it's nighttime
You
now.
can run by pressing the run modifier, but you can also sprint at great speed by hovering above the ground thanks to your jetpack. Simply double tap the forward key. Try it now.
No, I was too busy. There's an advert here. I wonder if you can buy that. You can buy that spot. And no, Bernie, I've not even finished the first tutorial yet. They're very long tutorials. So you could probably go to sleep. Either that or keep watching and you will be you will fall asleep as a result. So maybe I can provide that service. So you can run by pressing, you can also sprint at great speed by hovering above the ground thanks to your jetpack. Simply double tap. Okay, I found them out by mistake, so that's good.
Well, that's just a tiny, crummy little advertisement
good.
sign. Why not
Now,
get an
let's walk
even
to the other
larger
side of
one?
the
Just
parking
put it
lot.
on the horizon